Texas. The Lonestar state experienced a massive population growth over the last decade due to its low cost of living, lack of government restrictions, and southern hospitality. Now, many people think of cowboys and country folk when they think of Texas. While there are many, that's not all Texas is. It contains both country and some of the nicest cities in the entire country. In fact, 5 of the 13 most populous cities in America are in Texas, and 29 million people call Texas home. It is a fantastic place to live and raise a family, and personally, it's my favorite state to visit. Let's examine the state of Texas to determine if it's right for you. Now, arguably the biggest reason that Texas has seen such a massive growth in their population is their economy. Texas grows jobs faster than any state in the country, and it never seems to run out of opportunity. The median income in Texas is just under $60,000, but they have one of the lower cost of livings of any state in the country. West University Place, South Lake, and University Park are the top income earners in the state. All 3 of those cities make well over $200,000. The corporate tax in the state is low, but the property tax is 70% higher than the national average. So just because they don't charge income tax doesn't mean they don't still get you. When it comes to crime, Texas is about 9% higher than the national average. Out of their 6 biggest cities, Fort Worth, Austin, and El Paso are scoring the best at right around the national average for crime. San Antonio and Dallas are still okay, but they're a little higher than you'd like to see. And then Houston comes out the worst of their biggest 6 cities. Now, when it comes to the safest cities, Keller, Texas, which is a suburb of Fort Worth, Flower Mound, which is a suburb of Dallas, and then Georgetown, which is a suburb of Austin, come out with great rankings. Now, the diversity in Texas breaks down as follows. 42.9% of residents are white, 38.9% are Hispanic, 11.7% are black, 4.5% are Asian, 1.6% are 2 or more races, 0.2% are Native American, 0.1% is Hawaiian or Pacific Islander. Now, in Texas, especially in cities like San Antonio, El Paso, or a lot of other border cities, you have a really high Hispanic population and great culture. One of the reasons San Antonio is the most visited places in the state of Texas is their amazing Hispanic culture and the history there, especially the Alamo. Now, one of the things I've noticed about Texas is you can actually see where their tax dollars go. When I've driven around there, you can see public parks, you can see lots of great school facilities, senior centers, new roads. They're constantly updating the infrastructure of the cities to make sure their residents have a nice place to live. Now, Texas is thought of as a really conservative state, and this isn't quite true. All but one of their biggest cities lean heavily toward the Democratic Party, and the 2018 Senate race was separated by only about 2.5% of the vote. Now, I think it is safe to say that Texas, for right now, will still lean conservative, but it is likely to turn into the biggest battleground state within this decade. Now, in the 2016 election, President Trump scored 52.1% of the votes, Hillary Clinton landed 43.1%, and 4.8% voted for someone other than those two. Now, generalizing about the Texas weather is a bit difficult, being that it's over 268,000 square miles. But one thing to note is because the state is so big, they have multiple types of climates. The west is a desert, the central is like the Great Plains, and the east is swampy like the bayou. So it's not easy to discuss the weather of the state as a whole, but the vast majority of the state experiences warm summers, mild winters, and the nicest times of year are probably going to be spring and fall. Now, Texas does have its share of natural disasters. In the east, you have tornadoes, which can realistically reach the coast and cause massive devastation, like Hurricane Harvey did a few years back. Tornadoes are commonplace in the north central area or also the plains part of the state. And one thing to note as well is since the western side is a desert, they often have droughts and also extreme heat conditions out there as well. Now, when it comes to entertainment, Texas has it all. They have great nightlife, amazing food, they have live music, sports, and great entertainment venues. San Antonio is the most visited city, probably due to the fact that they have the Riverwalk, which has great restaurants and bars, and the Alamo, which is one of the most significant places in American history. There's not a lot of natural beauty in the state of Texas compared to other places, but there are places on the coast like South Padre Island and Corpus Christi where you have a lot of people who do enjoy going to the beach there. You have some great lakes and rivers where people enjoy water sports and fishing out on, and Big Bend and Guadalupe National Park to the very, very far west of the state. Now, when it comes to sports, they take it to a whole nother level here. Almost every major city has multiple sports teams, and their high school sports are a big deal, especially football. On Friday nights, there's still some whole towns that shut down to go see the game. Now, like anywhere else, not everything about living in Texas is great. As we mentioned before, their crime is a little higher than the national average. There's not a lot of natural beauty, but the biggest issue that I see in the state of Texas is their property tax. There are several big cities that have property taxes of over 2%, which will make this significantly unattainable as prices tend to increase there due to high demand of housing there. I do think in about 10 years, it could be very unattainable to purchase a house there if you're starting off. Now, if you have property there already, you're going to see those values shoot up. So if you can't afford to buy there, Texas is a great investment right now. Texas is an amazing place, but the question is it right for you? If you're looking to raise a family in a slower pace of life, there are so many places in Texas that will allow you to do that. Now, if you are looking for a higher income earning and faster pace of life, Texas offers that as well, especially again because they don't tax your income. So working in San Antonio, Austin, Houston, or Dallas-Fort Worth area, you have a good chance that you can make a high income in those places. Retirees enjoy the fact that many of their cities freeze property taxes once they reach a certain age, and do your research because it definitely depends on the city. And many artistic types enjoy going to places like Austin or San Antonio especially too, where they can experience really great music and culture. So the bottom line is, whether you're looking for seclusion or being in a city with lots of other people, you can get any experience in the state of Texas. One other note I wanted to put in here as well is, I've been to Texas a few times, and every time I go, the people are incredible. I've been stopped so many times by people asking how my day's going, do you have a home church, or is there anything you need? And I don't even live there. The people there are very friendly and outgoing, and they really take care of each other. It's really a unique thing across this country that the people there are so genuinely kind and considerate. And if you're looking at moving to a place where you're really wanting great neighbors, Texas is going to have that almost better than any other place I can say that I've been. Alright, well that's our video for today, guys. Thanks for sticking around to the end. If you enjoyed that, go ahead and drop a like down below. If you have any questions or anything in general you'd like to add, or if I got something wrong, go ahead and leave a comment down below. And then also, if you're interested in content like this, we're working on the series right now, going over different places to live. Go ahead and subscribe down below. Thanks for sticking around. Everybody have a great day.